Okay, Frankie and Craig, I have to get your thoughts on the Edmonton Oilers advancing to the 2024 Stanley Cup Final against the Florida Panthers. And we go back in time now to the start of the season for Edmonton, guys. Just a brutal start. It's been well documented. They fired Jay Woodcroft. Now the Oilers will compete in their 8th Cup Final. That is tied with Philadelphia for the most by non-original 6 franchises. But Craig, back when the Oilers made that coaching change and Jeff Jackson really put his fingerprints on this team, if I had told you that at the end of the season the Oilers would make the Cup Final after the start they had, what would you have said to me?
Craig knows. I knew it all along. I mean, the minute he stepped behind the bench, there was no question in my mind. Listen, they needed somebody to come in and really stabilize the team. You know what's etched in my mind is that picture of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the bench, just kind of going. It was the depths of despair for the Edmonton Oilers with that picture. And the Edmonton Oilers acted, and that's not something that's easy to do. You can look at it and say, okay, we need to make a coaching change, but it's the who that comes in that is going to make the difference. Kris Knoblauch, along with Paul Coffey, came in and just settled that team down. What's impressed me the most to this point in the season is not only the turnaround, not only the fact it's impressive that they're in the Stanley Cup Final, they became a team that was not just about a few players. They became a team that was complete everywhere. Everybody was questioning Skinner, the defensive play. Would they ever win? Well, they came together under Kris Knoblauch, and they showed that they can win. We know how great Connor McDavid is. We know how great Leon Draisaitl is. But they now are a team that's good defensively, on the power play, on the penalty kill. And everywhere you want to look, they have what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. They're going to get that opportunity here against Florida.
I guess that's my next question for both of you, because Florida, of course, back in the Cup Final for the 2nd straight year. Edmonton trying to erase a 3-decade Canadian Cup drought. Frankie, I'll talk to you first. Do you like the Oilers' chances to win?
Why wouldn't you like the Oilers' chances to win? Like, all the things that Craig just said make the Edmonton Oilers a very dangerous threat in the Stanley Cup Final. And maybe one of the things that stands out the most, like we talk about the star players all the time, and they're getting some great performances, Stuart Skinner. But Kris Knoblauch and his ability to have a pulse on his team and understand which lineup changes to make, which strings to pull, has maybe been the most impressive thing. You know, you can talk about structure all the time. You talk about how teams want to play, X's and O's. Like, that doesn't change that much. Where coaches really separate themselves from others is the fact that they understand exactly what their team needs at the right time, and they're not afraid to do it. So now, going into Florida, you still have to be bold. You have to be bold in how you do things, and that'll be the challenge for the Edmonton Oilers, because the Florida Panthers are as complete of a team as you can find in the NHL, and they've shown that in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Florida Panthers, Jay, are a top team. Yeah, when you get to the Stanley Cup Final, I felt going into the conference finals in both the East and the West, I thought all 4 of those teams were worthy Stanley Cup champions. We've eliminated 2. There's going to be 1 left standing. Could the Oilers win? Yes, they could. The challenge for the Oilers is going to be significant, because the Florida Panthers forecheck so incredibly hard. They're heavy, they're hard, they control the neutral zone, and that is where the Edmonton Oilers are going to have to find success. A little bit of patience. They're capable of winning. Do you like their chances? Certainly you like their chances. But, Jay, I picked the Florida Panthers to win, and I'm not changing now.
Well, I mean, you just have to ask New York Ranger fans after their team steamrolled through 2 rounds, you know, how good this Florida Panthers team is, and they'll tell you this is going to be a great Stanley Cup Final, and we've got all week to talk about it because it doesn't start till the weekend. Craig, Frankie, you guys were awesome. Thank you for this, and get home safe, okay?